Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Called to Create podcast. I am here to help you ladies unlock your creative potential and use your God-given gifts and start a business. Because you were called to create and you have so much to share, and the world needs your creative gifts to be shared right now, ladies. Let's do this. Thank you so much for allowing me to share what I know with you and all the things that will benefit you. I'm just hoping that you actually find great value out of listening to me. So thank you again for being here. And today I wanted to talk about the benefits of making a list. And there are so many people that make lists. Now I do that too. And sometimes, I don't even look at the list. Some days I look at it when the day is done. So I have to get better at looking at my list every day, every moment of the day. But here are some of the lists that are pretty common that people make. You have the to-do list, all the things that you have to do in that day. The other kind of list is the honey-do list. And that's a list where you have a list for your spouse to say, hey, honey, can you do this? Honey, can you do that? I thought it was pretty funny when I heard that term many, many years ago, the honey-do list. At first I thought, what is that? Is that because I thought of like the melon, like the honey-do melon. And then, somebody had to explain, like, no, it's a list that you say to your husband, hey, honey, can you do this? And can you do that? And that was pretty funny. Some people have the honey-do list, and then you have things like the bucket list. And I thought that was a pretty interesting term too, because it's like that analogy of like the things that you want to do before you kick the bucket, right before you die. I thought that's a really interesting term. I don't know if I would call it that. I would just say these are here all the things that I want to do before I leave this earth. So everybody has their own term, but bucket list is just meaning like what you want to do, the places you want to go, or people you want to see, or things you want to accomplish. Everybody's bucket list is different. And then you have the grocery shopping list. And I hope you actually go to the store. I hope you go to the grocery store with a list of all the things that you don't need, because I know for a fact, I see it all the time when I go to the store without a list. And I have talked to other women and people who go to the store without a list. They fill up their grocery cart with stuff that's not even what they needed. They know they needed a couple of things, but then they have everything else. Because it's so tempting when you go to the grocery store, and you never go to the grocery store when you're hungry. That I know for sure, because then you want to buy everything you see. Okay, so grocery shopping list. A lot of other people make lists at work when they're at their job. They have a list of things that they have to do and accomplish that day for their job. Now, the benefits to having all of these lists are the fact that it can keep you on task and it'll get you to do all the things that need to get accomplished. And especially at work, when you're getting paid to do a job, that if you have a list of things to do, you have to get them done, right? Because sometimes there's like some consequences if you don't, like the boss will get on your back and give you a hard time, or you have to migrate that list over to the next day, and then there's just more work for you to do the next day, which can cause a lot of stress. So there's a lot of benefits for making a list. But what if you could create a list that has more meaning and it's deeper and it has more of a lasting effect on you versus just the to-do list? Now, the bucket list is kind of similar to what I'm talking about, but how about making a list of your hopes and your dreams and things that you want to accomplish that have meaning to you, and that maybe even will create a legacy? Have you ever even thought about creating a legacy for you and your family after your time on earth is over, right? You have to actually plan it out now and think about what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What do you want people, your family especially, because sometimes other people, it doesn't matter what they say, but the family that you have that you truly love, What kind of legacy do you want to leave for them? What do you want them to say about you after you've gone, after you've left this earth? And I want you to think about creating that kind of list that has more meaning and it's deeper and it's richer and it's filled with emotions, just filled with all kinds of amazing emotions like joy and happiness and fulfillment. You want to be able to include all of these emotions in this list, and especially your dreams that are in your heart. I talk about opening up your treasure chest, which is my way of saying, what are the dreams and hopes that you have in your heart that maybe only you know about, or maybe just you and your best friend? I want you to create a list like that. I want you to think about all of these things to put on the list that have more meaning than just a to-do list. Okay, I gotta go grocery shopping. I have to do laundry. I have to go pick up my kids, or I have to go to the bank. Those kind of to-do lists are just necessary things that will just get you through the day, and they don't have that deep emotional meaning that really has an impact and will help you to create a legacy for your family, for you and your family. So think about that. Think about what you can put on that list. And I want you to, if you have time today, in your trusty notebook, put down, make a list, a new list that you include all of these things, your hopes and your dreams and the legacy you want to create, and some things that you want to do in your life. Like, I hope you want to start a creative business of some kind, and especially right now is a perfect time to start a business. And even if it's a part-time business on the side or a full-time business, because I always talk about how there's something so special when you create your own business, and it's something that you are creating and putting out into the world, or even if it's just in your community. And there's something so powerful in that, where you can bring all of your passions and your loves out and create it, and have it benefit somebody else. And you have to just start. You can't wait until your kids grow up, and you can't wait until you find the perfect time or any of those things. You can't wait until a future event. You have to find, like, what is the best time for you to start. And sometimes it's now. If you've been feeling, like that pull, that thing in your heart that keeps coming, it's just like it keeps talking to you. It's almost like it's alive, and your dream is like wanting to be fulfilled. Like, it wants to come out of your heart, and it wants to be shared. So if you feel that, and maybe you hate your job that you're at right now, or you're unemployed and you need income right now, now is the perfect time. But make this list today and include all of that, everything that's in your heart, who you want to become as well. What kind of person do you want to become? And I have so many lists that I make. My notebooks are so full with all these things that I want to do and my ideas. And I almost feel like I need like 10 lifetimes to actually accomplish all the dreams that I have, and the goals, and things that are so meaningful for me. But when you write them down on paper, it makes your dreams come alive. It becomes so tangible that you can see it and you can feel it, and you can just see how it'll benefit so many other people as well as you. Okay, this is what I experience, and I hope you actually take the time for yourself to do this. And it's not hard. It just set aside 15 minutes just to write down everything that's in your heart. Make that kind of list. Just list it all out, and don't censor yourself. Just write it all out, because now is the time for you to fulfill your dreams. And you can't fulfill it if you don't start writing it out, making that list and seeing it and feeling it, and starting from there. Of course, there's steps to fulfilling a dream, but you can't start even on the path to fulfilling it unless you actually write it out and get it out of your heart and your mind. Get it out on paper. All right, you can do this. I'm counting on you to fulfill your dreams and to make this list today. And if you have anyone that you know who you've had a conversation with that would get great value because maybe they have a dream they want to fulfill, or they keep talking about this one specific thing. And that's how you know too. That's another way of knowing if something is so important to you that it's in your heart, is if you keep talking about it without even realizing that you're talking about it all the time to people, or to somebody like a friend or something like that. Because sometimes we just aren't really paying attention to our thoughts and what we're saying. But usually we're talking about things that have meaning to us, that just comes out naturally. So pay attention to things like that, because you probably have been talking about something already for a really long time. Pay attention to that because you're worth it. You have worth and value, and I'm here to tell you that. And now's the time, okay? Send me a direct message if you want to share with me what you're doing. But please do this for yourself. These are the benefits of making a list. The benefits is that you get to fulfill your dreams and you get to do what's meaningful, because you can't just only have a to-do list or a honey-do list or a work list or a grocery shopping list. You have to have a list of your own hopes and dreams. That is so special. I can promise you that when you make this list and you have a desire and you start working on your dreams, you will realize what I'm saying. You will feel like this is so special. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it. Or if you know anyone that wants to start a creative business, please send this podcast their way. I would really appreciate that. And I want to ask you a favor. If you can please take a minute to rate and review this podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast in the Apple Podcast app, you can rate and review this show right there at the bottom. So as soon as you open my show, you can just scroll down all the way to the bottom and you can rate and review it right there. Because reviews are so important, and they tell potential listeners and Apple that this show is worth listening to. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a great day, ladies. Take care of yourself. Aloha.